Notre Dame tries to hold the fort down against Ohio State, and they fall short. Um, Notre Dame's one of those teams I just don't think is good at all. I think that they have a weak schedule every year, and then they always, I don't know why they're always ranked high. They played Navy, they played Tennessee State, NC State, and Central Michigan, right? And they play Ohio State against their first-ranked team. They get beat up on, they lose to them. They play them tough. They beat up on them every year. Um, I say this because this particular reason, like Notre Dame is not a good team. Um, I think we rank them high every year, mainly because it's like customary, right? We want them to be good, and they always fall short because they're not a good football team. Last year, if you look at the schedule last year, Notre Dame lost to Stanford, and lost to SC, lost to Ohio State Marshall. Of course, they had a quarterback swap. They beat South Carolina in the bowl game, but they're not a program that's going to be a staple program. They don't necessarily go out and beat up on teams. I don't know why they're ranked high or this even high, but Ohio State came in with a chip on their shoulder. Ohio State came, they felt disrespected. But there are some good positive things in the game, and there are some things that I think Ohio State needs to work on. I think the positive was just Kyle McCord's maturity throughout the game. He didn't throw a touchdown pass, but that late game drive, we saw growth of him on the drive, being able to make some tight throws, go up against the pass rush, not turn the ball over, not put the team in a situation where they couldn't recover from. That drive is what you want to see from a quarterback, especially against, in a big game against a ninth-ranked team, right, ninth-ranked team. You want to see that from your quarterback. So I personally felt that Ohio State failed Kyle McCord by not having prepared for the first couple of games of the season. I think that now he's starting to get better as a player. I think what he did on this last drive, he did on his own. And orchestrating that drive right now, when you guys haven't been doing anything all game, was huge. You got to do better for Marvin Harrison, though. The plus is, yes, you got growth and maturity just as a player. You want your quarterback in that situation to win games. But for Marvin Harrison Jr., in the first half, no targets, or I think it was one target. And then, throughout the game, 3 for 32. He's out there running gassers. And the offensive coordinator for Ohio State has to get you have to get your best player involved early, and regardless of how they're playing him, get the ball in his hands, right? And if they're gonna make the other guys beat you, which happened today, make them beat you. But at the same time, you got to find a way to get Marvin Harrison the ball, get him involved early, so he doesn't fall asleep in the game, doesn't get bored. That helps out the team when you find ways to get your best player the ball. And when you're playing at this level, the next level is NFL, but this level in Power 5 football, you have to find ways. It's not, win by committee. It's not like that. If you have a guy who's a playmaker, get him the ball. And, I think Marvin Harrison does have to be, the second half, I think that he was really disinterested in the game, especially the fourth quarter. There were times he was not completely in the huddle. He was on the bench looking like I didn't have a good game. These are things that you don't want your best player to have. You want them to be completely motivated, completely adamant, as far as, intentional on the field, as far as getting after it. So, good win for Ohio State. I'm not sure who they play next, but good win for them to build on. They play Maryland next. Yeah, it's going to be ugly. But they play Maryland next, so they're playing at home, so it's going to be an interesting game for Maryland to play. Maryland playing them at home. I think it'll be a good test, though. Maryland's coming in that game; they're 4-0. Maryland, two his little brother plays for them. This Maryland team wants people to know about them and who they are and what they do. And this Big Ten East Conference, essentially the whoever is going to be in the college football playoff is going to come from this Big Ten East Conference. The West is kind of weak, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with the teams. Ohio State as they continue to progress. I think it was good. Just hey, get Marvin Harrison, involved in the game earlier, sooner than later, and then I think you'll make the game easier for you throughout the game as it goes when you get your best player involved.